Hi all, this is Sean from Time to Talk. I'm sure you've all been waiting for this video. My videos are very exciting because someone actually placed a comment on one of my previous videos with just Zs to imply that they put people to sleep, which is fantastic. So today's video, if you like the channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it when people do, and hopefully these videos help in some way. And yeah, today's video is going to be about the Rolex Airking. So after having sold my Omega Speedmaster first Omega in space, I think I might have developed a bit of a thing for selling watches and minimizing the collection a little bit. I only have 6 watches actually at the moment. One's a smartwatch, so I don't really count that. So I was thinking about, should I trade in the Explorer, the 214270, that is my main watch. And the reason for this is to kind of make the collection more varied, because I still have a watch that I consider similar to this. I'm probably not going to do it, but I'm just thinking things through, I guess. And the Airking is less valuable than the Explorer, so I would have some money left over as well to put into another watch, because I do want a kind of dressy piece. If you've been watching the videos, I've been talking about Cartier, for example. And I got to thinking about how kind of underappreciated the Airking is. And I'm not talking about the current reference. I'm not sure of the reference number, but I'm sure you're aware of the current Airking with the kind of colourful dial, the 40mm. It's a bit of a departure really from the previous Airkings. I don't really like that watch personally. Tell me what you think in the comments. I don't really see. I mean, it's actually interesting because with the reintroduction of the 36mm Explorer, it does make more sense in the Rolex collection now, but with the 39, and that's a 40, it kind of didn't go for me. And I think 40mm for a watch like that is too big in my opinion, but obviously these days maybe not. And also we've had the reintroduction as well, or the introduction should I say, of the OP41. So I'm talking about the previous generations of Airking, before this one, but also into vintage Airkings, because I think for me they represent everything that I like about Rolex. I mean, it might seem a little bit daft, but I see particularly sports Rolexes, I mean not day dates and date just and things like that, I see them as being relatively austere, quite simple, quite conservative pieces that are not really designed to be showy. And the Airking is a great do everything watch. I mean, the old 40 millimeter Airkings, 34mm Airkings are perfect do everything watches. They could be a dress watch, they are a sports watch, they're 100-meter water resistant. They could pretty much be worn with anything. They would look good on a leather strap if you switched it up with a bracelet. I guess one of the only things you could say about the Airking is that maybe it's too small by today's standards. So 34 until they released the 40. And I have to say, I've never actually tried a 34mm Airking on the wrist. But looking at them, I think they're brilliant watches. I often think that, I don't know, tell me what you think, but I often think that this Explorer is too big for me. But, however, I wear this as like a sports watch, so having a bigger size is fine. And I guess that's where the 34mm comes in. Is it more of a dress watch as against a do everything watch? But I've also looked at the Airkings that are a little bit more fancy, shall we say. So you've got some Airkings, is it the 14, the 14000? I'll look up the reference number. but basically they have a white gold bezel. So they're fancy without being ostentatious, if you like. I mean, obviously the difficulty there is if it's fancy and it's 34mm, it might be going into the realms of a kind of ladies watch. And that's what some people said about the newest 36mm Explorer, that it's been marketed at ladies. But I would totally wear the two-tone. I mean, the two-tone Explorer, I would completely wear that. Yeah, so I just thought I'd make a video really about how the Airking is kind of underappreciated, particularly the older models, because you can actually still get them. You can get a new Airking, obviously, if you wait on a waiting list for a little bit, or perhaps if you pay a little tiny bit of a premium. But the older ones, even if you go into pre-noughties where they weren't chronometer certified, so they had precision on the dial, I think they're great watches, and they, in terms of, if I saw somebody wearing one of those watches, I would think that that's a deliberate choice that they've made to wear that watch. They're very, very cool, very, very understated, and it's just a perfect kind of do everything watch. And I know I've said, is it a ladies watch with the 34mm, but I think a 34mm watch is fine for the most part. Obviously, if you have a massive wrist, it might be a little bit too small, or you might think it's a little bit too small, but I think not in the majority of instances. You can also obviously get Airking dates, and you can get ones which is a little bit more fancy, to maybe make it a little bit more dressy. And I think, that could be your only watch. Part of me think that a lot of people say about the Datejust being, the most versatile watch and things like that. I think perhaps the Airking is actually the most versatile watch, because it literally can do everything. And with a Datejust, there's something about it being a little bit fancier that you might not want to wear it for certain circumstances and for certain occasions and with certain types of clothes. But the Airking just flies completely under the radar. And you're talking about a watch, particularly the watches between the year 2000 and the introduction of the newest Airking. It's essentially a Rolex, a little bit more sporty, a little bit more austere, but it has all the same technology in it, because they were now chronometer certified. It's just a little bit smaller. So yeah, I mean, if you like the channel, I forgot to mention, if you like the channel, please subscribe. I really do appreciate it when people subscribe. Despite what I said at the beginning about people putting nasty comments on the videos, I do appreciate it when people subscribe and when people say they like the videos. I know I'm not a professional YouTuber, so forgive me if the videos are not the most exciting in the world, but I do try. Tell me what you think about the Airking. Tell me if you like it. Tell me why you like it. If you own one, tell me your experience of wearing it, because 34mm is on the small side for a modern watch. So it would be good to hear what you think of it, particularly the versatility of it. I think that's another thing about the Airking that is versatile, because particularly the older ones, it look good on a leather strap. I don't think modern Rolexes look good on leather straps when you take them off the bracelet, because the cases are a little bit too chunky and blocky, whereas the older ones do look really, really good. So you can wear them in a variety of occasions and things like that. So yes, tell me what you think of the Airking. Tell me what your favourite one is. I'll post some pictures in the video of some of my favourites. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.